Dot, 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 dot. Good morning, everybody. This is Grant from State of the Spark, and you know what day it is. It's Monday, and I'm pumped to be here, and I hope you are too. We've got a great show. I'm going to cover some of my thoughts and my intuition about how this week will be easing into the holidays and the 4 things I recommend you do to absolutely be mentally, emotionally, spiritually, relationally ready for the holidays because they are going to eat time alive. We're also going to cover some art news. We're going to cover what our current moon today. If you step outside on a beautiful Monday morning, you can see what kind of moon we have today and what it means, and then how art is treating the pyramids. But before all of that, you know what we're going to do. Morning cup of gratitude. Grab a cup of hot coffee, grab a cup of hot tea, or put something on while you're getting ready for work today because we're going to cover what we're grateful for. And whether or not you post what you're grateful for in the comments, which I wish you freaking would, post your gratitude in the comments. But even if you don't, I want you to say them out loud. If you're putting on your clothes, getting ready for work, if you're putting on your shoes or getting the kids ready, I want you to at least say out loud what you're grateful for. Good morning, Ryan. Thanks for the like. I appreciate you, sir. So I'll tell you what I'm grateful for this morning. Several things. Number one, I am super grateful for killer weather. This weather is freaking awesome. And I don't know if you're further north and it's freezing your panties off, but I'm telling you, down here in Florida, we have the perfect weather this morning. It was like 55 when I woke up. I went into the gym. I already did the gym this morning. Did you? Did you already get your workout on? Father Ryan Christian, he's taking care of a newborn, but he's headed to work to get his workout on. But I got my workout on. I came out and it was still like in the low 60s. And then I got coffee at Starbucks and started writing out today's show and journaling and studying. Maybe you saw my post about Samurai. That all happened at Starbucks this morning. And we came out of there and it was still in the 60s. Love this weather. I'm grateful for it. I'm also grateful for figuring out that I can actually sit squat style in this chair. These sitting in chairs all day long, working on websites and working on businesses can really hurt with your lower back and your hips. So I did see a TikTok actually, where I'm going to actually be absolutely insane. I'll make sure Marissa takes a photo of it, where I am actually working in my bar stool chair, but in squat style to actually work out my hip flexors. I'm also super grateful for our following on TikTok. The following on TikTok has been able to ask some great questions about crypto and financial freedom and business freedom. And that just feeds me and I'm able to answer that. And we're able to get into a good dialogue. And then similarly, we have 2 new Patreon members that I'm absolutely grateful for because of how involved they got right away. One of them's asking great questions about crypto. We were able to create some great content. So if you want to get involved, there's a free Discord in the comments below. There's a Patreon, which we really recommend because they're getting our buy alerts. And what we're grateful for there is 3 of our cryptos have been up 100% in a week alone. Now, we didn't bet the farm on them, so we're not crypto billionaires, but we're getting there and we're getting returns and we're getting closer to financial freedom, time freedom, so that we can chase our callings and our purpose in the world. You know what I'm talking about. That's what State of the Spark is all about. It's helping you chase your calling in the world. And it's hard out there. For those who have been following State of the Spark, you know it's difficult to build your life in a way where you can chase freedom. That's what we're working on together in the Discord and in the Patreon group. That's what I'm grateful for this morning. That's what I'm drinking out of my morning cup of gratitude. What are you grateful for this morning? Let me know. Let's talk about other news. Art in dialogue with the pyramids. Yes, there's contemporary art going on in dialogue with the Egyptian pyramids. Now, for those who don't know, the Egyptian pyramids were actually, I won't call them death worshippers, but they're tombs, and they're a focus on the afterlife. And so when you saw the great pyramids of these great leaders of the ancient Egyptian empire, they were not worshiping death, but also paying homage to the afterlife and beyond. And I know that's a very gringo, Western, two-dimensional view, but it contrasts into the new life that the pyramids in Giza were given this week through the 7th in an art installation called Forever is Now. It's a multidisciplinary art dialogue, they're calling it, with these tombs that are depicting death and the afterlife and trying to contemplate, if you will, what goes on in the afterlife. Well, several artists run by independent art advisor Simon Watson, several artists are coming together to actually create a new dialogue, giving it life, and meditating on the pyramids as focal point of eternity, kind of reframing the afterlife into what is forever. And the title of the art installation is Forever Is Now. Now, I think it's very important that when we talk about artists, we name them primarily because I think that a lot of artists we could name, and you could probably name one artist, one modern artist off the top of your head. I'll give you 2 seconds. Banksy, right? Like it's the only modern artist many people can actually name. I think it's very important that we name artists because we would realize how much quality art is coming out of the Middle East, how much quality art is coming out of Asia, how much quality art is coming out of Africa. There are many other diverse quality artists. So a few quick names. Sultan bin Fahad has an art installation there. So does Alexander Ponomarev, who I believe is a Russian artist. Gisela Colon, who I believe is a Latin artist. Joao Trevisan, who I believe is a Brazilian or Portuguese artist. Lorenzo Quinn Jr., Moatza Nasir, Sharon Gyurgis, Schuster and Mosley, and Stephen Cox. It is obviously a very diverse group of artists. Let me give you the link because in the thumbnail, it actually depicts one of the cooler installations to contemplate as it pertains. Let's see if the thumbnail will pop up there. This one is an interesting example of these. Some were sculpture artists, some were auditory artists, and you can see in the thumbnail there this type of piece that is juxtaposed to the pyramids themselves, and they capture photo, they capture art, and it's really supposed to create a dialogue with the pyramids. That, my friends, is art recontextualizing ancient pyramids and how it's moving forward. Let's talk about AI, satellite imagery, and what's going on with solar. So 82% decrease in the cost of solar photovoltaic cells since 2010. People don't realize that. When Marissa and I started our journey of sustainability with Earthships and Earthship School out in Taos, New Mexico, if you were following that trip, maybe we should resurface a review of that time in our life. Solar panels were decreasing in cost, but they were still kind of expensive. 82% decrease in costs of solar cells, solar panels since 2010. Now, the International Energy Agency has projected that we need to be generating capacity of our solar photovoltaic solar cells, basically solar panels, have to increase by tenfold by 2040 in order for us to reach our goal of constraining global warming well below the 2 centigrade mark. Now, just for those who don't know, a lot in the sustainability group, many people say or suggest that a great metric is that if our average temperatures raise 2 degrees Celsius, that is about the point where humanity is beyond the brink. Now, that doesn't sound like a large temperature, but if average temperatures raise that much, right now, what we're seeing with the melt-off and the poles of our planet's obviously heating up. As we see the poles melt, that's only the average temperature has only raised by a half a degree to a degree centigrade. If we hit 2 degrees centigrade in temperature raise, we're in for some challenges. So the International Energy Agency says, well, listen, if we could get off of fossil fuels and get on a solar, this can help. Now, I don't think it will prevent. We got to do a lot more to prevent global warming, but it can help significantly. Well, one group decided to take an inventory of how fast solar was growing, and they actually created a machine learning algorithm that could analyze a photo imagery, and then they took 550 terabytes of satellite imagery, which is a lot. It's something like 50 human lifetimes of mind power to process this many terabytes of satellite imagery to actually analyze and categorize over 60,000 global satellite solar plants, satellite arrays, and then they compared that to satellite imagery 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and they can show the rate of acceleration of how quickly we're moving to adding solar arrays, and if that addition to our solar energy is going to help us get there. Now, one thing they did note, which is a big warning, you always got to look at the impact of these things, and the impact of these solar panels is this: these solar arrays are often placed in areas of wheat growth, corn growth, large fields where there's not many trees and a lot of high sun. And you can imagine what the problem here is. The problem is that if we have enough solar to create solar energy for the population, how does that impact food growth? So I've got that link, boom, right there in the comments for you. You can check out if sustainability is your bag. You can check that article out and see we are making significant progress. And yes, now it's raising other questions about what's that impact. Will it actually help us prevent us reaching the 2 centigrade temperature raise? Or what are the other negative impacts? That, my friends, is what's going on in solar. Let me tell you about our moon today. Now, if you step outside, the weather is gorgeous. And if you look up, you're going to see the moon, I hope. And today's moon is brought to you by Waning Crescent. It's a waning crescent moon, and it's about 15% brilliance this morning. So what does a waning crescent mean? What is the significance of a waning crescent moon? Well, a waning crescent moon, a waxing moon or a waxing crescent moon signifies prosperity and growth. A waning crescent moon signifies surrender and reflection. And that's going to impact the 4 items I'm promising in 4 goals for holiday prep today. We're going to talk a little bit about that on surrender and reflection and how we can put this to use to leverage ourselves this week. But perhaps this is why this time of year, whenever we encounter a waning crescent moon, when the temperatures are cool, why most people tend to get more reflective, more introspective, more grounded. Maybe it's because it signifies surrender and reflection, or chicken or the egg. Maybe it signifies surrender and reflection because of how it actually affects us to see a waning crescent moon. Fun fact for today. You could just put that in your pocket and save it for your meeting with your employees today or whenever you're hanging out with your people. Hey, do you know the meaning of a waning crescent moon? And they're going to probably look at you funny, look at you sideways. And you're going to be like, surrender and reflection. Duh. I hope you're empowered. That, my friends, is other news. Let's talk about the 4 ways I suggest you prep this week and even today to get ready for the holidays, not just in your business, but in your personal life, so that it doesn't take you by surprise and so we don't wake up out of a holiday stupor in January going, I missed it, making the most of these last 2 months of the year. Let's talk about it. So I don't know about any of y'all, but last month was weird. I don't know about you guys, but I encountered a lot of you in my coaching sessions who, some of you encountered major professional and personal setbacks, emotional, relational setbacks. Some of you actually have a new child in the world, and just there's this newness, and it's not a setback, but it's definitely a massive shift in your life. And sometimes massive shifts, like a new child, like a new home, like a new dog, they're good, but they disrupt the order of things enough that it feels weird. Now, for those who didn't have like these massive life changes, like having a kid, getting a dog, moving into a new place, some of you have expressed something parallel, but not exactly the same. And that is some of you are experiencing depression. Personal and professional setbacks, personal and professional changes, heading in new directions. And some of it is just a pandemic hangover. Now, this blahness, nothing was exactly horrible. In fact, some of the conversations I had, when people were confessing some of the things that were going on, they didn't describe anything that was particularly horrible, but nothing particular great. You know, the news, thank God, hasn't been particularly horrible, but it hasn't been particularly encouraging either. Unless, of course, you were in our Discord and our Patreon and you were on the crypto train and you got the suggestions to buy Shiba and Decentraland when you did. And I don't necessarily suggest you do that now. In fact, it's not financial advice at all. Hello. But if you join us in our group, some of you made a lot of good money if you invested heavily when we all did. But aside from some of these fun brain candy things and all the new November Netflix drops because we love binging on that mess, some of you are waning on your goals like a waning crescent moon. There seems to be so little goals, so little greatness, so little significance drawing us forward, pulling us ambitiously toward the horizon. I contrast this to the feeling I had growing up when I would sit on the beach in Vero Beach and contemplate what my place was. My family had all moved. My brothers had all moved away. My dad had moved away. I was taking care of the house myself. I wasn't in a relationship with many people, and I was sitting on the beach looking out on the horizon, wondering what pulled me forward. And suddenly a great sense of goals and focus pulled me towards Spain. Because when you look out on the beach, technically we were looking right in the direction of Spain on our particular beach. I looked it up once on Google Maps. And something pulling me towards the horizon. And I did. Spain was my first international trip, and I traveled extensively since then. And I had this sense that when I looked out over the horizon, I knew the name and the shape and the direction of the thing drawing me. Do you have that today? A lot of things feel like they're in neutral gear. I know, for example, contrasted to this pull towards the horizon, Marissa and I have some investments, but those investments are currently locked up until December next year. And there's a complacency, a neutrality, a limbo that can set in when you're waiting and you're out of agency, you're out of control, you are not able to take action. Well, we know that's not true. We know that you can actually take action. But as it pertains to this month, November 1st, us staring down the barrel of holiday wrapping, those holiday wrapper tubes of holiday wrapper paint. We're staring down the barrel of that, looking at the holidays. Most of you, if you were smart, did a lot of your holiday shopping throughout the year in July. Most of you, if you were smart, you took our advice in July. We actually did a show late July, early August, and we said, get your holiday planning for your small business done. I hope you did that. But for all this heaviness and kind of neutral limbo, mental cobwebs that occurred in October, how appropriate for Halloween. These cobwebs that build up, and there was a great celebration. There was good energy in our town this Halloween weekend, good towny energy. We met new friends over coffee and drink with new friends. We walked the Buena Market. We had such a good time with people. And I think as we jump into November, we're going to see a crazy scrambling busyness in our businesses. But I encourage you to do this one thing: raise your energy. I feel that this month is a month like a waning crescent moon of surrender and reflection. But I don't want you to do this from a passive standpoint. So we're going to cover the 4 things on how to surrender, easing into the flow of things, but not with passivity, but acceptance in order to prep yourself to move forward. I encourage you to make this month, this week, about reflection, reflecting on becoming who you need to become to move forward and to level up through the holidays. In spite of the black hole that the holidays, even in all of their fun and festivity, the black hole that the holidays can still be emotionally from a personal development perspective, I want to encourage you on these 4 things so that you raise your energy. I need you all to get off the couch and raise your energy. You might be bothered with a medical ailment. You might be bothered with an emotional ailment. You might be struggling with depression harder than anyone around you can possibly realize. But no one is coming. What does he mean by that? I don't mean that to say that to weigh you down. What I mean is that should be a freeing statement. No one is coming. Therefore, you, my friend, need to raise your energy today. And the 4 things I'm going to give you are things that I am planting seeds inside of you that I hope raise your energy for today so you can build momentum going into these holidays so you are an unstoppable force as you move through the holidays and move into the new year, because I believe 2022 is going to be one of the best coming out of our cave, coming out of our shell years that we've seen in a long time. I don't know about the economy per se, but I mean personally for the people, at least in our spheres of influence. Why? Because I'm going to make it happen. The best way to predict the future is to make it. And whether it's the people in our Discord, the people in our Goals and Gratitude group, the people in our local community, the people in our intimate spheres, I am committing to raising the energy. So are you along for that ride. And I guarantee me and Marissa, and those in our Discord and those in our communities, I guarantee we're going to elevate our fitness and health, elevate our relationships, elevate our business and our income. I guarantee we're going to come out of this holidays with new things that we have created, new art pieces, new books, new tools, new courses, new clients. But more than all of that, I guarantee that we are going to raise the energy. Those involved in our communities, those involved in our discords, those involved in our relationship sphere and locally, we're going to come out with a higher energy spiritually because our group is the foundation from which the rest of us, we're all catalysts. Those who are involved in Spark, those who are involved in Spark businesses, those who are involved in the Discord, those who are involved in our local community, because we have a good community of small business owners that we are actively involved with. Those of us who we touch are catalyst people, and we are going to be the foundation through which 2022 takes off with a bang, at least individually. Again, I don't know about the economic sphere. I don't know about the political sphere, but I know from our personal relationships, we are going to co-elevate and activate people for a powerful 2022. And this week, and these 4 things are the way I guarantee we're going to at least start. Let's look at it. Number 1. Going into the holidays, number 1, going into the holidays, you need to start any new health and nutrition habits. Listen to me today. Number 1, and I'm going to put this over here too. You need to start any new health and nutrition habits today. You have 3 weeks, no more than 3 weeks before the holiday food, activity, gravity tries to pull you down. Yes, I'm going to be eating cookies, guarantee it. Yes, I'm going to be drinking my eggnog, guaranteed. If you've met me for a minute, you know I love the holidays and I love good food. It signifies wealth and prosperity to me. But you've got to have your new activity habits and your new health habits. I'm going to be eating cookies, but I'm going to try to make sure that my habit of eating 6 small meals a day is happening. That way I'm going to eat that cookie, but I'm just going to be eating half that cookie. Just get that flavor in my mouth. Yes, I'm going to be eating eggnog, but I'm not going to be eating eggnog. I'm going to be drinking a little bit of eggnog because I just want that flavor in my mouth. I like it. It's nostalgic, that gustatorial memory, that place of strength. You got 3 weeks. Number 1, start any new health habits and nutrition habits now so that you are a rolling ball of momentum and that when you plow through Thanksgiving, you're not going to just gorge and lose your brain and suddenly I know how this goes. You got all these goals. Thanksgiving happens, Black Friday happens, everyone starts drinking candy cane, hot chocolates. As we go into like Black Friday and Small Business Saturday and Cyber Monday, we get sucked into this and we're like, oh, and then we come out of that weekend thinking, oh, damn. And then we just let everything go until January 1st. That's how most of you work, not Spark citizens. Start your new habits now. Yes, I encourage you to have all of those things, but in moderation. And you don't have to stop your working out. You don't have to stop your activity. In fact, if anything, it's camping season. Marissa, let's go camping. It's hiking season. Dude, everyone's saying you can only hike 2 months a year in Florida. Okay, well, let's go do it. Let's get that going. Start any new health and nutrition habits now so that you have momentum coming into the new year. Number 2, if you haven't already locked in your holiday plans with family, do so now. I am not just talking about family. Y'all are already going to plan for family. I'm talking about family. These friends and neighbors and community members and Discord members that you spend so much time with already, this is your family. Yes, I have siblings that I love. Yes, I have parents that I need to continue to deepen my relationship with. Yes, I have cousins. Yes, I have in-laws, and I love these guys. And we're already got them on the books. But let me tell you who gets lost. Widows get lost in the mix. Couples whose family aren't in your area, but who you spend the entire year with. You need to put a Friendsgiving together. Marissa, we need to put a Friendsgiving together right now. This week, let's send out our invites. We need to send out our invites just in case we also have a Christmas parade. And our house is right near the Christmas parade. I need to encourage my family to come over, and we're just going to put together hot cocoa and Christmas movies and Christmas music, candy canes, and let's just hang out and make it possible. Put out a fire. Let's hang out and make it possible. Family are people you spend most of the year with already. Coworkers. And here's the thing about holidays. Most of these couples, as the nuclear family wanes, that's fine, so long as the other relationships begin to strengthen. Your neighbors, your coworkers, your mutual business owners. If you haven't, point number two, this week, if you haven't already locked in your holiday plans with family, do it now or they're going to get lost and have yet another blah holidays. And the holidays are such a good time to strengthen relationships with people who you're going to spend the rest of the year with. Anyway, number three, this is your last chance. I mean, today. I mean, like Friday of this first week in November, Friday of this first week in November is almost too late to actually plan holiday discounts, holiday sales, and holiday marketing. It's going to be too late this week for your Thanksgiving, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday. In fact, we check out. We send our employees home. We take Thursday and Friday off, or at least Thursday off, Black Friday off, or a skeleton crew, because these holidays are so important for family. We take them off. Dude, I'm telling you, if you do not have your marketing done for Thanksgiving at least, and the following weekend, this week, it's too late. So today, this is your last chance to make something of the holidays for your business. Now, you don't have to do sales and try to keep up with those Joneses. You could just use this to be different. Me and Marissa try to opt outside, hashtag opt outside. We should put together, Marissa, we got to put together our Thanksgiving Circle B hike or our Black Friday Circle B hike. It's a great tradition where we have a local hike or route, or maybe even a local downtown. Maybe the following Small Business Saturday, Marissa, we do a Friday hike around Circle B. And on Saturday, we actually hike her 10-mile loop. We get up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and there's a 10-mile lake-to-lake loop all in downtown Lakeland. And then we all go get breakfast afterwards. Something. That could be how you differentiate, and then put that on social media that, hey, no, we're opting out of this craziness. We think you should be with loved ones during Thanksgiving. This is one of the most important holidays to me and Marissa, so are we going to make it so? I encourage you to make it so. And that's what we're going to do. But this is your last chance to do something with intentionality for your business on throughout the holidays. And number 4, Marissa says, oh, she just reminded me. I cannot believe I said all of that. And she just reminded me. We'll be out of town, but we can plan something for the following weekend. I totally forgot. I love this tradition of us going out, but I promised something that I couldn't deliver. Forgive me. Marissa says we can be out of town, but we can plan something for the following weekend, and we should, because our friends and our family are people we spend so much time with. But good catch. Thank you, love. I apologize, but we'll think of something maybe the following weekend or the preceding weekend. Maybe we'll get everybody outside. Last but not least, number 4, here we go. Boom. Set time aside for spiritual growth. Just as sure as you are planning all of these external activities. Now, I know that these external activities are fun. I know it's killer, and you need to have fun. You need to unwind. We need to put our businesses aside and our ambitions aside. But people and the holiday celebrations are only the placebo or the celebration or the ritual by which we start to unplug. The point of unplugging is that you are setting time aside for your spiritual growth through the holidays. Plan a day long, a full day, one full day of what would be a pure sabbatical. No social media. The movies you watch could only be creative and fun, like true, like holiday traditions. I don't mean like your show you've been binging. I mean something that's out of the norm. Marissa and I, we never watch Harry Potter except during the holidays. That's a fun tradition. Set time aside, but prioritize your spiritual life. Don't binge, though. You're not allowed to binge. Put your social media aside. Pick up a book. Journal. In fact, if you want to make the most of this, actually take a full 2 days, a Friday and a Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, and all of your normal activities, check out of. Unplug. Go into a cave. It's okay. You're not going to miss your people. You'll come back. It's just 2 days. Don't say, hey, social media, I'm checking out for a while. Forget that. Just put your phone down. Don't check the news. Don't check social. Unwind. Bore yourself. Paint something. Get in the garden. Go to the beach. Journal. And at the moment you get bored is just about the moment you should sit and meditate and pray and reflect about what you're grateful for. If you need a structure for quiet time and meditation, let us know. We can help you come up with that structure. If you need a structure for how to actually be introspective, some of you want to be introspective, some of you feel called to be introspective, but many of you don't know how. We can help with that. Reach out. But plan a 2-day long retreat at least. And if you have a spouse or a partner or a loved one, make sure that you include them in this. Or you could do it separately. If you have too many responsibilities, tag out with your spouse or partner and say, hey, listen, I'm going to take my 2 days and then I'll take the kids or the dogs or the house. And then you take your 2 days of no responsibilities. Don't change the laundry. Don't clean the house per se. Do things that are meditative that actually help you retreat. Put them on the calendar now. Marissa knows that I love goal setting through the holidays. In just 2 weeks is roughly my birthday. And in 2 weeks, I love quiet time. I love settling down. I love journaling. I love writing. No, I don't. Marissa loves celebrating and I enjoy how she celebrates me, but I don't think about presents. I don't think about travel. I think about introspection. I think about truly no responsibility. I think about gifts of time. Where I can truly be my own person and have my own agency. I think many of you can't just do this in one day. I think you need 2 days. So at least once in the next 2 months. After Thanksgiving, I encourage you after Thanksgiving, between Thanksgiving and New Year's, set yourself some time aside and read a book that you've been meaning to read that has a personal development structure. Write your goals for the following, just your personal reflective goals. Write down what you think you're hearing from God in your journal if you have that sort of spiritual life. But if you don't, at least set time aside to meditate, at least set time aside to ponder, at least set time aside to think about how you've grown in the last year and how you'd like to grow in the following year. Listen, I don't care what the nihilists say. I don't care what the realists say. You need goals. You need bigger goals. I'm watching so many of you. I'm watching so many of your waistlines give in to goalless entropy. I'm watching so many of your booty lines give way to the entropy of lack of goals. I'm watching your hearts give way to the entropy of no goals. I'm watching your spirit, the strength of spirit that you can make an impact in the world, give way to the entropy of time, the entropy of a goalless life. I'm not saying you need to that the only way to grow spiritually in the holidays is to set goals. I'm saying it's the inevitable outflow. I think so many of you avoid spiritual growth because you might be convicted to be something more and you're just tired. I think so many of you are avoiding spiritual time because you might hear that still small voice that says you were made for more and think, I have struggled so hard to try to be more. Still small voice that I'm tired and the pandemic's got me worn out and business has got me worn out. And the great resignation sounds like it's a mission statement for some people emotionally, but not you. So I encourage you to set time aside to grow and to strengthen your spirit because we need you, not passive. We need you active in the world. And whether or not that's goals in the way I think of goals is irrelevant, but this vision in your mind's eye of your ideal self, we need that. Go out. Don't go out and find what the world needs and try to meet it. Go out and find what makes you alive because what the world needs is people who are alive. That's what we need out of you. That's what we need out of Spark Citizens. That's what we need out of people in the Discord. That's what we need out of anyone watching this show. That's what we need. And if you need any help whatsoever cultivating that, you know to visit us at stateofthespark.com. You know that if you want to get our buy, sells, trades, or our financial freedom or our experiments in living, join our Patreon, but join our Discord. We got a free Discord if you want to do that. But remember, no matter what you do this week, whether you're setting time aside for spiritual growth, whether you're taking action on setting up your business for holiday marketing, whether you're setting time aside to spend time with your family, I don't care. No matter what you do, remember the mission, igniting lives of explosive significance, starting with your own. Have a great Monday.